You're listening to The Rack Show on VoxV.com. Join Conrad.
Compared to a lot of other people, I'm very weak, but I'm super plucky, so I try.
And Lucas.
I call upon chaos spirits to grant death.
And Lucas missed.
I did not miss. That bunk bed, dead.
As they take geek culture off the shelf and show it to you.
It still looks goofy from the outside.
But it's so fun that you don't care.
You don't care.
The Rack Show. Geek culture at its best.
Hello, everybody listening to The Rack Show on therackshow.com. I'm Conrad.
I'm Lucas.
And we are not at the Phoenix Cafe in Hazel Park, which you can find on the Phoenix Cafe, hazelpark.com. We're also not at a convention.
We're in a mysterious land that we cannot tell you where.
We literally have been sworn to secrecy.
Secret location in the woods.
Why are we in the woods, Lucas?
We are battling undead.
We sure were. I was also battling elementals today.
I was battling some kind of vial of something.
You were making stuff. It wasn't so much battling much, but it was undead. And then I was battling a big dragon-ish
fought a dragon?
thingy. I did.
Oh.
That's where I got this cool ring that gives me an extra body.
Oh, the guy from last night.
Yep.
With the crazy tentacles in his hair.
Yep.
Yes.
In case you're not following us, we have been LARPing this weekend.
You'll see him later on the show, but Josh Brewer brought us to a LARP.
Yes, our LARP expert was kind enough to bring us here amongst his people, and we've been having a blast.
Now, I've done this before, twice, so I'm not really that old hat at this. This is actually still new to me. But you're really new at this.
I've
You've never LARPed.
never done this before, and Jomar and Corey, our associate producers, have also never done this before. And Jess really wanted to come out, but unfortunately she was working, she couldn't make it, so maybe we'll have to bring her back next time. She would have loved it. She would have loved it, guaranteed.
Jess would have loved it.
But yeah, I'll admit that going into it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then when I started, I was like, I don't know if I want to admit that I'm having fun at this. And now I'm then into it, I'm like, I will preach this to anybody who will listen. This is fun.
Conrad has become a Boy Scout.
I was already a Boy Scout, yes. So and this was an observation by Corey, by the way.
If you know us in real life, if you know the dynamic of the four guys in real life, you know, our associate producers, Jomar and Corey, and then Conrad and myself, we pretty much just became ourselves in game. Yeah,
Lucas pretty much kind of dictates stuff from the back. He's not much of a fighter or a doer. He creates things, which is very similar to what he does in life. I call him the kingmaker. He likes to get behind people and kind of push them forward, which he did to Jomar, who's kind of known for not messing things up. Because on the show we're doing fine, but he likes to mess with things, like especially gaming.
So he plays, I gotta say, he plays a fairy.
He does.
I just want to say, Jomar, hey Jomar, what race are you?
He's a fairy.
Say I'm a fairy.
Don't do that. You don't have to do that.
Because I want to put it on my ring.
I know you do.
Okay, so Jomar's a fairy, and then
he's mischievous, which means he does things, and sometimes it's to his detriment.
Come back here. Just so because there's a
take a load off.
We're all sort of dressed up. Even Conrad's really dressed up.
Yeah, you can't. You might not be able to see it very well, and it kind of look like a
cloak,
like a b-boy dancer.
I'm in a cloak.
But
put these up so we see it. I'm in a cloak.
There you go. They're in cloaks over here. He has some blue stuff on his face across his eyes, making him a fairy. Lucas is a human, so he doesn't have anything on his face. No. I'm a Kesserin, which has 3 stripes across my face. Those are 3 different races that we are, and they have different abilities.
Particular game.
Yeah,
and then we have
Corey. There are tons more.
And Corey literally looks like
Corey.
Yeah, Corey. He came in as a human, playing Tomb Raider's brother, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. He's very snazzy dresser, thanks to his future wife Rachel. And he basically was allowed to wear a lot of the same stuff that he brought, as long as he wore like a tunic over it. So he was just being Don Juan, just walking around all smooth and all sly.
Yeah, he had really nice clothes on.
Yeah, his character name was Caleb. He even had a human name.
Caleb. It was just like, this is sort of ridiculous. What's our names? My name's Ulrich Snow. People call me Snow.
My name is Calix Kingsman. I got the Kingsman because last night in the game I actually grabbed a very prominent item that linked me to a king.
That was an accident.
That was an accident. I actually meant to grab that for someone else, but it did something which is called attuned to me, and now it's mine.
And I know this is all probably gibberish to you now, but it's something you definitely have to learn. We have somebody coming in here actually
which is totally fine. Thing is that we're doing this right now, and
this is front of the camera.
This is all in game.
Just go for it. Yeah. We're gonna have somebody walk in front of the camera. You don't know who that is. That was a person.
Yep. This is all in game right now.
I don't know.
This little area that we're in, this little box, we're out of character, but everyone else pretty much is still in character.
And actually, behind the camera is actually all our beds in this cabin. It's pretty neat.
Yep.
There's different cabins. Things happen differently in different cabins, and then there's a tavern off to the side where people go and eat their meals.
Yes, when you show up here, basically you get your character ready to play, and then you stay in character the entire time, even when you sleep.
Unless you have a podcast to do.
Which, thank you for letting us take a time out for the podcast. Really appreciate that.
Except for, so your meals, our meals in this particular LARP, they're provided for you.
They really
as
are.
Part of your registration fee. But there is a bar where you can go get,
snacks
and drinks.
But see, this is what I want to talk about. We're going to open up with here. You can go get Dew of the Mountain.
You can. Dew of the Mountain.
Which is
Mountain Dew.
And you can get, what else can you get?
Cola with sugar?
Yeah,
which is Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Tea, which is
tea.
Which is not like any tea.
Unicorn's blood.
Unicorn's blood.
What is
this is from Ashley off camera, who's providing some other stuff for us.
It's Red Mountain Dew.
Code Red Diet Mountain Dew is Unicorn's blood. You know what? If I were to drink Unicorn's blood, I could see it tasting like that. I can kind of see why Voldemort did it in the first book.
What else is there?
It's a lot.
Peppery drinks.
Peppery drinks? Is that Dr. Pepper? Ah, there you go. See?
Favorite.
So
there's cola with cherry.
There's cola with cherry.
Which is Conrad's favorite.
That is.
Say fizzy.
Fizzy with cherry. Okay.
Fizzy with cherry.
See, we're still learning at this. We're still new. We have some old hats in the room with us, helping us out, coaching us in this.
We'll be bringing them on the show in just a minute here.
In the meantime, we're going to talk about our experiences thus far. Lucas, what have you been doing in game? We've been here for roughly 24 hours.
I got to come in game a little bit. 2 more moons, so 2 more months.
Which is months.
Bigger than you. Because I started playing in 2011. I only played twice.
They play once a month, yeah? Okay, yes.
And so I had a little bit more build, which is experience points for those who know video games out there. And I'm an alchemist, a weaponsmith. I make stuff. I make stuff.
He's a crafter, basically.
Yeah. So I haven't done much. I've been hit a lot. That's it.
Well, it's
and then
that's because you just sit there.
Because what am I supposed to do?
This is Lucas.
He doesn't even defend it. Okay.
Fight.
Two.
I'm dead.
Two.
Now I'm just really dead.
Yeah. That's Lucas. Which is whatever. I mean, you can play this game however you want. And that's what's really cool about it.
And the funny thing is, he has a weapon and he won't use it. So he's like this.
Two.
I'm dead.
Two.
I'm still dead.
Okay.
That's not totally true, but there's a lot of
Lucas's
truth to
focus in this game is not fighting.
Nope.
So
Nope.
when we went on a quest, we miswalked
I really
or went
can't
through a
hit
portal.
for anything.
We miswalked, I guess is the call of it. So we went to a different part of the camp, which was all set up as a.
There's miswalking, there's rifting, and there's portal.
We went through a rift.
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 Okay, but it's the way to get from one place to another. And so we went to a part of the camp that was set up as a labyrinth, which was a cabin that had different pathways for higher characters, different pathways for lower characters. They converged, and then we walked around the cabin once we walked out of it, and then walked back into it because labyrinth is to signify the different levels of it.
So we went through this cabin multiple times for each level that we had to go up into.
And Lucas hung out in the back.
I did that my first night here when I first did it years and years ago, and it was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it was cool.
I fought then though because I was sort of a stronger character before I rerolled. I had a lot more fighting skills, and I didn't have any crafting skills. But then I sat down with some of the major, huge crafters here. There's people that have been here for 10 years or longer, and they have, longer brewers staying over here, and they have just massive crafting experience. And I was convinced to be a crafter.
And Lucas is jealous. He wanted to be part of that, so that's why he rolled this character to be. So his character on that quest, he just hung back, and he has what is called an unshatterable bag.
I got a sack,
which is
break.
Which is an item in game that can't be broken if someone targets it. So everybody who picked up loot put it in his bag. Oh man, really?
Yep, I said it.
Enough with the sack.
Can't split my sack.
So
and
Lucas,
Jomar, you're not allowed to touch it either.
Yeah, so Lucas has been in the midst of training up his crafting, and he's basically been the mule.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He's just fine with it. Jomar has a little bit more of an interesting story.
Yeah, I'm a fairy, and...
I got it! I got it!
Ringtone.
We finally peaked.
Cut it.
Anyways.
But pretty much, it goes along with my real-life character, really, because I'm...
That you're a fairy in life, too?
No. that I'm very mischievous and I like to get myself into trouble sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
Sure
Even
does.
like even at board game nights when we're like just at my house hanging out, he likes to
He just does things.
I like to mess with people sometimes.
He's not like Will's Lucas's cousin Will, who will do things just to watch the world burn. He will mess with the game without trying to win it, without trying to lose it. Just do things to do it. That's not what Jomar does. Jomar just does things.
He's like, what does
almost
this button
accidentally,
do?
yeah,
Hits
and that's
it.
what he
I'm
does.
Because he's curious.
I'm the person.
Yeah, no,
I like to
we're
talk
talking-
the
yeah.
duck.
He's very curious about things, and then he's just,
Yes.
without asking anybody, he's just gonna go do it. And what happened to you because of your
Well,
curiosity?
my
your
first
first
night-
night.
Well,
My
first
first
tell
night-
us the setup for it.
Well, the first night, we're in this tavern, pretty much getting dinner, and then all of a sudden a mysterious head appeared,
Appears.
and it has a question mark mask over it. And
Now,
pretty
what
much,
the head was like a what would you call it?
What you call it?
I don't know what a prop.
A mannequin head,
Yes.
essentially.
Yes.
With a mask over it.
Yes, and you could ask it questions by sacrificing a ingredient.
And a player who's wearing a white headband is not not a player. A person wearing a white headband is not something that is perceived in game.
Yes.
So this head just showed up, and this person is answering the questions for the head, but in game, we're listening and talking to and receiving answers from the head for the
Yes.
most part.
That's sitting on a table.
Yes, it's sitting
And
on a table. And you
so-
could.
We're role playing
Yeah,
this.
you could sacrifice items, basically they're called components, to ask it a question.
So all of camp we started asking questions.
And I decided to be like, you know what? Why don't I loot the guy?
Because he wanted to loot him
I
because
actually-
everybody else in camp had given
Like-
this head
components
components
So I
or
wanted
ingredients
Had
to
a
make
ton
things.
of
So
stuff.
I wanted to loot it for the components.
And what happens is you
Which was
ask,
a good idea,
What?
actually.
You ask a question of the head, and it turns over a card. And if it's a regular deck of cards, and if it was red, it either lied to you or misled you or didn't answer you directly. If it turned over a black card, then it answered you directly, truthfully.
Yes.
And so Jomar asked, "Can I loot you?" And
I
it
got
turned over a black card.
Black card, and he said yes. So I'm trying to pick up the head. I'm trying to pick up the bowl. None of it's removable, so it was stuck to the table. But then I had to ask another question: can I take your mask?
And he's asking me, can I do this? Because I'm the only one. Because they had been in game about a half hour.
Yeah,
at this
Brewer
point.
was not
Yeah.
with us at this point.
So they're like, hey Lucas, can I have more components? And I have them because I'm a crafter now.
So I'm at the teetering level, and I'm asking him like, should I do it? Should I? So he's the one who pushed me over, and I'm like, yeah, why not?
I'm like,
Put it in
yeah,
there.
you should
I-
do it, Joe.
so I took
you
off
should
the
poke
mask.
the head that came from nowhere because that's
know,
a
that's
good
fine.
idea.
Yeah,
Well, no,
totally.
I took off the mask. I took the mask off, and it shifted me out of game because what happened was the mask attached to me.
So essentially, in game, he disappeared.
Yes.
we
To
saw
us.
him walking away.
Yeah.
but in game, we did not see him. He just disappeared.
It disappeared for a little while.
and then he reappeared like 5 minutes later, and we all
And it
asked him where he
it
was.
Pretty much the mask stuck to me, and now anyone who asks me a question, I had to pretty much answer it rather truthfully or untruthfully.
Which means that they didn't have to give him a component for this, and he didn't have any more knowledge than his character knew.
Which
They were just bothering him.
By the way,
basically.
like I wanted to do the component thing, and it wouldn't let me because I had to answer it.
It would have been cool if they had to give you a component.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah, that
cool,
would've been
but
awesome.
No,
because you would have came out
with a ton of stuff.
exactly.
So Jomar's character, whose name is
Jun.
Jun, ended
Jun
up
or Jud?
Jun.
Jun
J-U-N.
ended up having
Which is
this
very
mask
Filipino.
on his face
Japanese.
or head, pretty much for 13 hours
13
straight.
hours, because
Because he slept, obviously.
And people were, I understand, but people were just now asking questions just to be a dick.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
doing that.
They were like, "Hey, so are you having fun?" Damn.
Yes.
freaking
Take out
it
the cards,
Oh,
flip
yeah.
over a card.
So, is it nice weather outside?
Or
And then
you
I
just
never-
ask the same question over
And
and over
yeah, they
again.
would like ask one question, ask another one, but go back to the first one. I'm like, seriously, it's done. It's
It was-
done. I walked away.
He
I
was
like,
getting a
"Yeah."
little annoyed with it.
And
He was, and it was funny.
thankfully today, about like 2 hours ago, someone came over
With a white
and-
band.
With a white band, took it off me, and I got a reward for it actually.
For having to deal with it.
For having
Which
to
was
deal with
what?
it. I get to Bane
8
Yes.
times.
Eight
eight times
times.
because I picked the card and it was an 8, and now I get to Bane 8 times freely.
I wonder what would have happened if you would have gotten like an ace.
That's what I wonder too. Like if I got a king, what would
Yeah.
happen? But I get to Bane 8 times, so it's cool.
Which Bane means
I
that if
dealt
somebody
with the-
casts something on him, they reflect it back of the opposite nature. So
Yeah.
if someone casts an ice spell on you, you can reflect it fire for the same.
And the same. So if someone said like 500 fire, I'd be like 500 ice.
So like the big baddies.
Oh,
yeah,
bam,
that'd be
okay.
awesome.
That'd be awesome.
That was Jomar's adventures. I kept finding myself, because I'm a straight fighter. I'm a weapons master, so I don't cast anything. I don't make anything. All I do is I go into a fight. I have a shield, I have a sword, sometimes I have a club, and compared to a lot of other people, I'm very weak, but I'm super plucky. So I try.
He keeps
Super
going.
plucky.
Like
I'm super plucky.
pretty
So
sure-
exactly what I've been saying is Conrad in game.
Pretty much,
Like,
yeah. My
there-
character, the race is already honorable, goody-good guys. But I really like Captain America and myself. I'm all about fair play. So I went into this, and I'm playing this
he's-
to a T.
balls to the wall because there are some monsters that probably could beat him easily, and he's just like 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, he hits for 2 damage.
I'm dating for 2
That's
damage.
the exact reason why I don't pull my sword out.
Which-
I'm like,
It's great.
Josh Brewer plays Jax in game. I'm like, he's standing right next to him. I'll just wait till he pulls out his weapon because by the time I pull out my weapon, Josh can just dust a guy.
Which exactly that's what happened.
and
It
that's
was
why
crazy.
I'm just gonna sit here because there's far better people.
But
to do
because
this
I'm
job.
putting myself in the forefront, cool stuff is happening.
It is. That's
You got the king.
Yes, during the labyrinth, I got to the very end of the labyrinth, and I was talking to some other characters, and I was like, can I grab that if I'm the first one to it? And the 2 people next to me were like, if you want to try, sometimes it won't let people pick it up. You might be the person that's allowed to pick it up. We don't know. So I walked in, and the character were like, you want to try? Give it a go. Because everyone here with new people are so supportive. That's something we can't say enough.
Yeah,
Everyone
no,
here
it's
is so
great.
nice. They're willing to
Yes.
answer questions for you. They're willing to teach you, which is great because there's a lot of things that we don't know.
Yes.
So
we
like,
don't know
yeah,
anything technically.
so go ahead and give it a try. So I pick up this king, this little silver. Actually, I have it on me.
Of course.
But yeah, well, because I carry it on my person.
Yeah,
But yeah,
'cause
so
you
I
wanna
have this.
Show it off.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
You're just jealous because you got a mask and he got a king.
So I have this
still
silver. I
got
have this
stuff in
silver
the air.
king, and when I got this silver king, it basically attuned to me, which means that this is mine. If my character comes back to the game, it will have this king, and it does some cool stuff. I
did you do,
tried
Conrad?
to give it to the person that I promised I would give it to.
now
Because
say
I said,
what you said because it was very chivalry of you.
I said that I gave my word of honor that I would obtain this item for someone else, and I pointed out that person who's actually here off camera. She's opting not to be on.
Totally would have
And
pocketed that thing
And I
and
went
walked away.
to give it to her, and I was told in game that I could not. This thing is attached to my character. And
in my
there's
shop.
no way of getting rid of it that I know of, that anyone else knows of. So I ended up not being able to. Well, I'm being told now that there is, but I didn't know that. But I have this, which is cool. It lets me do something called Unnatural Dominate, which my character, as a low-level character, can't do, obviously. But it lets me throw something at somebody, and then basically I take them over, which is cool. And there was a gigantic monster that showed up literally right after. I'm sorry?
There's 2 abilities on there.
2 abilities. Yes, I haven't talked on to the second one yet. I remember it. Sorry, I'm being schooled over here, which I need, and I'm not faulting you for it. But there was a giant monster that attacked us after that, and so in the middle of this combat, and this monster's doing massive, massive damage. I'm just staying very far away, and I'm using my shield to as an umbrella for the girls that don't want to get their makeup wet. And that's literally what happened. Yes, and Ashley was one of them. And so in the fight, I was like, can I use my king ability on this big monster? And Brewer was like, yeah, give it a go. Sure, why not? And so I threw it at this big monster, and it stopped combat because the guy who was the monster was like, what?
He's the reason why everyone's like,
Your unnatural phase, which means that it went through it and it didn't hit it. But it distracted it enough to mess it up. And after that, the guy playing the king that I'm attached to was like, how many more of those do you have? Throw both of them. So I did, and they didn't work. But
what
it was
happened? Did he phase both times?
he phased and he dodged one. But it was cool for like a really low-level character to do this gigantic monster. I'm being told by a bunch of people that what I did was cool. I thought that I was annoying people because I was stopping the flow of the game, but everyone's like, oh, no, that's awesome. And then I got a really cool ring that lets me see the astral. Well, you can't see it. It lets me see the astral plane, and
Which is
I don't know.
it's a plane of existence that we don't
Yeah.
exist on.
But I could see it.
I can explain.
There you go. Ashley will explain when she gets on here.
Well, when we bring her down, she'll explain what astral.
Yeah,
plane is.
and while I'm almost done with my stuff. And then on top of that, this item also lets me do a cash out, apparently, when... Actually, can we bring Ashley on now? Because I don't know how to...
Bye,
explain
Jomar.
this. Yeah,
See
sorry about
ya.
this. But we do. Ashley Urban is one of the NPCs here. She has actual characters, but she has been NPCing at the Monster... Monster, yeah. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate
Feel
it.
free to talk up because that's the one that's
Yeah,
playing.
absolutely. If you want to, we'll try to scoot this. Yeah, don't be shy. scoot this over towards you. Now,
shy.
explain the second ability on this because you know it better than I do.
Okay, so the second ability on that is what? Cash outs 1/20th instead of 1/10th?
Yes.
Okay, so what that means is the next time that you go through logistics as your character,
Okay.
when you check in and out of events, you do what are called cash outs. Cash outs are things that allow you to get more build
Okay.
to put towards, any other skill.
To level up your character,
Right.
essentially.
So, my main character is to the point to where she has to spend 5 silver to
Okay.
cash in and out of the game.
Which is a lot of money in game, yes? Okay.
It's half a gold. It's a lot of money. So what this would do for me is instead of making my cash out 5 silver, it would reduce it down to what, like
Two
or
silver
three?
and 5 copper?
Yeah, 2.5.
That's
So-
helpful.
Yes, it is. And what's cool is that this
Does
is
he get to keep it forever?
No, it is what's called a legacy item. Legacy items are designed to where at a certain build point, they become inactive for you. So the idea is with those, once you reach 100 build at one point, it's like total earned, one of those abilities is going to stop. It's going to go dormant.
Do I know which one? Or does it get picked? or-
Yes. Do you have your tag?
Yeah.
Here, watch. I'll explain it to you.
There you go. Yeah, by the way, also,
Everything in game is represented by a
Is it dominate
tag,
the first one?
which tells us what it is, and then a physical rep or fizz rep, which is like his
Okay.
fizz rep is
Which
his
is-
actual sword. Then these little
dad.
tags tell you what
this
this sword does.
is basically my king.
It says. Okay. So, all right. You see where it says 0 to 100 build?
Yes.
3 unnatural dominates. So the moment that you hit 100 build, you
can
can
no
no
longer
longer
do
do
that.
those.
Okay.
But you can still do this one all the way up until you hit 200.
Okay.
And then when you hit 200 build, that goes dormant for you. And then what you would do is you would pass it on to a younger traveler.
Bequeath it.
Yes.
Yes.
And
So
you have to
it
figure out
goes
how
on.
to do that, right?
What? How to what?
Bequeath it.
No, you don't.
Can I just do it?
No, you can just do it.
Because isn't it attuned to him?
Well,
Well, after that point.
Once he hits that point, it's not going to be attuned to him anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
I could give it to Jomar. I could. Feasibly,
Well, it
if he hasn't reached that
depends.
point.
yeah. it
Bro, how many
depends
build
on
are
how-
you?
Huh?
How many build is your character?
Right around 250.
250. So
it takes
he's,
a while.
He's just above not being able to use this thing.
And that's your build from the 10 years you've been here, right?
No, this
Right.
character's 2, right?
But
I
he's
heard.
Character is a 2-year.
Yes. Okay,
So
so
that 2
so it
years is
takes a little
250?
while.
Yeah, roughly.
But
My
on
character, like I said, is almost like almost 500, and I've been playing for 5 years. But I haven't played that character every month, or vice versa.
now you haven't been playing a character that's yours. You've been NPCing. Can you tell us what that means?
NPC means non-playable character, obviously. I am working back in Monster Camp to help run plot and help game go and send out monsters and send out plot hooks and send out runs and merchants and anything you could really imagine that could possibly not be done by PCs.
So you guys are the monsters. You
Yes.
guys are the
We're the monsters,
merchants.
we're the merchants,
Yeah.
we're the animals, we are everything. We are the unusual things like you saw last night.
Yes, you were you a drow? Are they called drow here?
No.
Okay.
Last night, what I actually was a Shadow Steel Guardian.
Okay.
I have a Dark Elf. We can't use the word drow because drow is a copyrighted term.
Okay.
So it is actually Dark Elf here.
okay.
I do have a Dark Elf, though. I actually have a Dark Elf NPC and a Dark Elf PC. But my main character is my ghoul.
Yes, what you were talking about.
Yes.
Which was Brewer's former character's sister.
Elder sister.
Yes.
I think I remember her too.
She's a badass.
Yeah, I think I
she
remember her.
is. She is. She's
But
something, too.
last night you looked awesome. Your whole gear looked great.
Yeah, and my big ass motherfucking mace, so
Yeah.
crazy. I love that mace. That mace
It looked
is
sweet. It really was. And she was painted all black, and she had white,
black,
like
silver. I had like
silver?
silver, like etchings, like all around to like bring out detail in my face.
No, it was really cool. I think I might broke character to be like, you look really cool.
And then my corset,
Yeah.
and my skirt, and both my maces, and my dagger in my pouch, and all the dragon tails from all the dragons I kill.
And me there holding a shield above her head to make sure that all of it didn't run.
It was really, yeah, it was
Because
really.
It was very rainy, yes,
'Cause
and
he's
it's
a Boy
right in my
Scout.
character. I exactly would have been like, oh, you need cover, I'll do cover. And that was actually one of the players leaving, probably going to go kill stuff, because they like doing that here. Or
Yes.
being like Lucas and making things.
We are a fan of killing things.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of making things out of killed
Or
things.
trying to kill things, because sometimes it just doesn't work out. like you
Now,
want.
can you Now, can you tell us the story of what's happening and without revealing anything thus far? Like, from when we started to, like, now?
Do you want from just this game, or do you want last game too? Because
is it interconnected?
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure.
Okay, so the previous game was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And what had started everything was these children being sent into town, resurrecting. But the thing about them resurrecting is, have people explained vitality and resurrecting to you guys?
You can go ahead because people probably listening don't know.
So what resurrecting and dying is well, when you die, you get your 2 free deaths as a new character, but then after your 2 free deaths, you have 10 vitality, and each time you die and resurrect, you have 10 white stones in the bag.
Okay.
And then when you die, 1 white stone is taken out, replaced by a black. Okay. And so on and so forth.
And these are the stones you pick out of the bag to see if your character comes back.
Every time you resurrect. If you get a white one, you resurrect. If you get a black one, you permanently die.
Permadeath.
Which is what happened to Brewer. Twice, actually, right? Because didn't it happen to your servant of death or whatever? Yeah. So that happened to Brewer twice. He pulled black. And you know what's funny is, as with my asthma, I haven't resurrected once. Not once in 5 years.
Nice. Well, to knock on some wood.
Whatever, I'm not worried. You have no idea how many times my ghoul will come back. My ghoul will come back with a vengeance.
So these children need to be resurrected?
So what's happening is these children are being kidnapped, and their vitality is being just wrecked. Like, there are some kids that are coming in, like we just had the ogre girl that came in that got resurrected.
Is that the one in the tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had 9 black out of 10 in the bag.
Wow.
So
this NPC had 9 black out of 10.
Yes.
And this is part of the story, the evilness.
Yes, this is part of the plot. So nobody knows yet who for sure is doing this. Mm-hmm. They have an idea, which is 2 people they fought last gather, which was see, I'm still talking in game. Last event. So one of them is a skull face with glowing eyes, which technically could be a number of things. It could be a death knight. It could be a death rogue. Like, it could be a lich. There's many, many different kinds of undead that it could be. So no one knows for sure. Well, they didn't know for sure until he actually showed up, and they
could be identified.
Yeah. Well, it was really like the very almost end of the night kind of last month. We rolled into town with 10 to 15 NPCs, we had vampires, death knights, death rogues, we had 2 magma elementals, just crazy. And it was funny because over by there was 3 smokers standing in the smoking area, and these 3 particular smokers are higher up characters, mm-hmm. The dark elf guy that you see floating around. It was the guy who's he looks like a purple skull face with the sword. He's wearing the black and purple tabard.
Oh, yeah.
Him, and then another guy who's wearing a black and purple tabard, but he's a fairy with scales. It was mm-hmm. those 3. They were all standing over by the smoking area, and at first we were all beelining for the tavern because the tavern door was open. Mm-hmm. So, and we saw somebody sitting there, and then all of a sudden, the person who was leading our group, I'm not actually going to say his name because I don't have his permission to.
Okay.
He started going to the tavern, and then he looked over, saw the 3 smokers, turned to the right, and we all just went and mobbed, and we just watched all them just kind of look, hurry, put their cigarettes out, and start dashing away. First time I have ever seen the guy who plays the dark elf kind of speedily run away from something.
Wow.
Because usually he doesn't.
So you guys were running towards them for protection, and they were running away because they couldn't.
Oh no, we weren't coming at them for protection. We were coming at them to kill them.
Oh.
We were gonna we were here to kill everybody.
Oh, you were the NPCs.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, we came in literally to just kill everybody. As we had, like I said, we had vampires, death knights, death rogues, liches, magma elementals.
And that's really the fun of being an NPC, because the reason why people could be motivated to be an NPC is what?
If you're PCing and then you go to NPC a little bit, you can get your pools refreshed.
Basically your mana.
But there's other things that you can do where we also say that NPCing is good because it helps you learn the game from a different perspective.
Yes.
And you get to use abilities and teach things or
yes.
find out things that you wouldn't normally be able to find out or do as your PC.
Jomar got to do that today. We were walking. I was helping Josh Brewer, with his character to build something. And,
Jax is his character.
Jax. And there's Jomar following us out of the tavern. We can't see him technically.
Because he has his
Headband. Is what he had.
no, he had a
Weapon.
he had a weapon to his head, which means technically in game we cannot perceive him.
Yeah, so
Like this.
There you go.
we
Just
couldn't-
like that.
We couldn't see
Maybe
him,
like
but I
this.
knew he was following us about to attack, and I was trying to ignore him. And I was following
Which
Josh.
you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to
And
metagame.
I couldn't do anything about it because I had 2 bowls of food in my hand going from one tavern to the other. So it's like I'm definitely not gonna pull a sword this time. I just paid 4 copper. No, 5 copper
For what?
for all that meat and cheese that I bought. I was
Which
hungry.
in game of copper is equivalent to a dollar, I was told, yes?
There's good stuff.
Kind
And me and
Like,
Josh,
roughly-
or Jax, if you will, were headed to the tavern to share and partake into this meal. Well, I, worked on his project because he was going to hire me to do something in game. And Jomar just arrives and he starts throwing I don't know.
Probably
What'd you throw?
50s.
2 ice, and then 2
Yeah, it was some little stuff, but I just kept walking.
My asthma would have laughed.
And Josh just got between me and him and just 50. He's like, I crumble.
But that was cool because Jomar's character is a mage. He's a caster. He doesn't get into the
Was
fight.
it you that I walked over and slayed, or was it the other
No,
guy?
there's another guy.
Was
It was a different guy.
Yeah, he doesn't get into the
Which
fight.
was
He
great.
throws.
That was
Here, can you
hilarious.
throw me one of those
You have
packets?
no idea how many times I
Do
do
a
that as
packet?
NPCs.
So
Just
these
walk
are
by something
seed
and just, like,
packets. This is a seed
It's a spell
packet
packet.
here, or spell packet.
Yes.
And this is essentially bird seed wrapped in
cloth tied with
cloth.
rubber band.
Like, you would have to really wing this if
And
someone
this is
actually
the kind
hurt
of cloth
them.
that actually sort of breaks down with the weather, which is I realize a lot
Well,
of these
you
are
can
just,
use any type of cloth, really. They're all,
Okay. It's
just
they're
that's-
all different.
that's the one.
It seems very biodegradable on purpose though, so that we're not littering everywhere.
Yeah, if it ends up
These
getting
things.
lost, people don't end up
So
picking it up.
wildlife out here love them.
Yeah.
Yes. So they throw this they go whoosh, and without the sound, I did the sound because
You can make the sound still.
So here, ready? And what can I say? Because I don't remember throwing a spell before.
You can say, I call upon chaos spirits to grant death.
Do it.
I call upon chaos spirits to grant death.
And Brewer would not be dead because Lucas missed.
You know what? I did not miss. That bunk bed, dead. It's
No,
dead. I
technically-
slept in it last night.
Technically, it would have been my coat.
It
There
was,
you go.
it was
you
horrible.
You killed Ashley's coat.
Yeah,
No, it was the bunk bed because it didn't
No,
kill
it hit
this.
the
It hit the coat.
It hit my coat.
But it hit the bunk bed.
So if that was armor,
You're no, wait a second. The bunk bed's wearing your coat, thus the bunk bed took the damage. Because that's true, because
True.
There
Yeah,
you
see?
go.
That's true.
There you go.
dead
But-
bunk
So-
bed. It's a
Bunk bed
horrible
really
bunk
can't
bed.
take damage because it's an inanimate object.
But yeah,
There
it
you
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but there are rules. I mean, and it's a lot of self-policing, a lot of self-math that you have
Yeah.
to do.
There's math.
And when you're just
Math
jumping
stuff.
into this, yeah, it's a little crazy. If you are putting out 500 damage at me, that's not math. I'm just dead.
because
or bleeding.
How many hit points do you have altogether?
Let's see. With this ring that gives me an extra 50, I have 15, which means I have 65 hit points on top of the 20 armor that I have.
I have 65 period with all my armor and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jomar has.
I have 100 and
I
something.
have 25 armor someone gave me, and
You can't still have that. You haven't been hit yet?
well, no, I refreshed because
Oh, okay.
I died and someone
Yeah,
gave
you
me.
can repair your
Yeah,
armor.
people cast stuff on you all the time. They're really generous. Brewer's bragging that he has 400 armor.
Really?
Really?
This is insane.
Armor plus body, it's about 400.
Oh, arm plus body. It's still
Oh.
ridiculous. Good for
And
you.
then I just see him. He was taken over by a baby ogre.
Taken over?
Yeah.
Not taken over, but he.
calling that a baby
Omnom?
is
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that when Brewer gets on, though.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we don't want to
he's
tell
off
the story.
camera
We'll
right
don't
now.
talk about the story when he's not here.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I'm
Let's do this.
exhausted a little
I'm
bit.
gonna
Yeah,
explain
I'm
Astro
sort of
first.
I'm sort of going in and out right now. I was up really late last night on my own adventure with Corey.
Finding food.
Yes, we spent 2 hours looking for food.
We spent like an hour and a half almost looking for food before we finally found a McDonald's at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
We
It was
found
retarded.
the fueling spot for the Wayward Traveler. and it wasn't far. It's like 10 minutes away, but we
The
drove.
gas
We
station?
probably drove like 40 or 50 miles last night easily.
Just looking for it?
Just looking for
in
food.
Corey's car, right?
Okay, so
And
what I'm
yeah,
going to
Corey's
do real
car.
quick,
Okay.
since I have this, I'm going to explain what the Astro Realm is. So basically you have the plane that you're on, which is right here, right?
Yeah.
Material plane, we'll call
Right.
it.
So then you have the astral plane, which is like above us. So when you're in the
Well,
astral
that's
plane,
snooty.
right?
No.
So when you're in the astral plane, certain people can see you, most people can't.
You can see him.
My character has a ring that can perceive the astral plane, so I could.
My ghoul has a tattoo that allows her to see up because racially she can't. So I sat there for an hour and got tattooed in game. I had to RP out the pain and everything. It's pretty sweet. But you need an orange headband, like so, to be able to ascend and descend. And there are certain ways that you can attack people on the astral plane, but mostly you can't. You can't really talk to people either unless they're up there with you. Like if I go, I ascend 1, I ascend 2, I ascend 3. So now I'm in the astral plane, right?
And if I had one of those and I did the same thing,
Right. Well, you can unnatural gate as Kesserin. So
was that the same thing?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
A
Alright.
natural gate sticks you in the astral plane. That's
But
right.
how long can it be there?
You can be there as long as you want.
Well, not me. She might be able to do that, and my thing has a limit, and it's my body. If I stay up there longer than my health, I come back dead.
So anyway, so like if I was up here, and you could see me, right? I can't talk to you like this, but I can look at you and go,
So I can be like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
I have to-
watermelon,
I
got
have
it.
to
Let me go grab you
pantomime
watermelon.
at you and mouth my words at you and hope that you get it. It took me like 40 years of playing this game to finally like just get a tattoo that let me see up, because like what finally did it was the king, not the king that you met last night, but like the
Different
king
king.
of our land where we live. Him and the character who is currently the tavern,
Okay.
because the tavern is a living thing.
Is it the hog?
The gutted pig?
The gutted pig?
Yes.
We're inside of a
But-
pig that's...
No, that's just what the tavern's called. Like that's the name of the tavern.
Oh, I think explained.
That's gross.
No, you know
You've been
how,
going
you
inside
know-
a gutted pig the entire time?
Right.
Does not
Yeah,
stop
you
him
know
from
how
eating
there's
at all.
bars
Not at
called,
all.
you know.
Yeah, the hog's head.
Right. So in this case, it's called the gutted pig. But the person who is the gutted pig is called Baldwin. So right now, Baldwin is the gutted pig because it is a living person. Before Baldwin, it was Gregory. But
So we're inside of Gregory?
no, we're inside Baldwin now.
No, we're inside Baldwin.
It was Gregory. Now it's
And how does he feel about this?
well, some things happened and it needed to happen, and he's fine with it. He's actually a fairy.
There you go, Jomar.
Yeah, no, he is. He's actually a fairy. He's also, I believe he's a worm. I think he's
Which is a dragon-ish-esque, right? Or no?
kind of.
Kind of,
Well, there's dragons and there's a couple different kinds of dragons in this game. There's like the augment dragon, which you see people with like the scales and the painted face, and like their scale color is based on their personality. But then you have like the dragon men and the trueborn dragons.
Okay.
How do you
Which-
become a trueborn dragon?
How do you become a
Yeah.
trueborn dragon? You don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can, but you have to play a character, get up to a certain build total, retire, and go through this whole other spew. That's how the guy who's playing the blue dragon. That's what he did. He
So
had
he's natural born.
yeah. So he had a character that he actually retired, and
very cool.
used his retirement build to be able to come in as the dragon. The other dragon though, was he bronze? Is he copper? He's copper or bronze.
Copper or
Whatever.
bronze, yeah.
He
Guy's named Philip, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
He ended up being, because he was actually just a human. Actually, he's been a lot of things, but he's originally at his core, he's a human, and that body more or less was a gift from somebody. It was like this whole his last name is Goldmane. I can't remember his first name, but anyway. It was a gift from him, so that's how he became a dragon. So
So there are
like,
there are ways to do it.
there are ways
It's just
to do it.
hard.
It's just really difficult.
Yeah.
One last question. What is your favorite thing to play? Both on each side, NPC and as your character. Obviously, it seems like
My ghoul is my
your ghoul's your
Yeah.
favorite, but how about this? NPC. NPC slash monster.
my like
Favorite experience.
of reoccurring NPCs that I
Yeah.
have is a toss up between I have an NPC dark elf and I have a PC dark elf. So it's a toss up between my dark elf and my dwarf.
Your dwarf.
I have a purple bearded dwarf.
That's cool.
Huh.
I'm the only one you will ever see with a purple hair. It's because I had, until September of last year, I had purple hair for 10 years. So I was down in the indie event, and one of the people that got, the guy who's playing like that purple skeleton thing with like the Reaver sword.
Yep.
He was NPCing once, and I walked in, and
Just go ahead and walk by, guys. No, just walk by. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
it's fine.
Careful,
It's
don't
okay.
hit it.
Just don't knock it
Exactly.
over. We got more people's.
Yeah. Like I said, this is happening all around us right now.
Yeah,
We're in it.
we're in it.
But I walked into Monster Camp, and like he turned around to me, he's like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Hey," and like he's like, "Hey, do you want to come in as a dwarf with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." I started setting my stuff down. He goes back to painting his beard on, and he turns back and he goes, "Make your beard purple." I was like, "Done." So that character is. I was going around saying General Gretchen because it sounded better, but I'm actually a sergeant. So it's Sergeant Gretchen of Kazul's army, and she's such a badass. Like she's a Reaver, so she had a Reaver sword. Her answer to like everything is slay.
Nice.
Just everything. Don't even care. Like I just walk around. I have chainmail. I actually wear like full heavy chainmail.
A lot of people here could do that as well, and do that. Like you'll see brewers get up here when he gets on, and it's pretty impressive. Like,
Yeah,
like
but that's
I'm-
not chainmail though. That's leather. Chainmail is heavy.
I know there's one guy rocking around in Greaves. He has actual like metal pants on.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's these two guys that they have full head to toe, like helmet,
I
chest
would
piece,
love to see
shoulder
that.
piece. Like I don't
And
know
listen
how that
to
guy
it.
wasn't like dying.
And these pieces give bonuses in game. So like yeah, they look
You
cool,
get
but also
armor.
they're like an extra 20 armor for like each piece or like 10, depending on what it is.
Yeah, but a 90 degrees day. So it's,
Yeah, no, not worth it.
a rapture thing around my.
I'd like to thank you for coming out. Oh.
Oh yeah, hold on. So you have to ascend to, for this I send 1, I send 2, I send 3. I descend 1, I descend 2, I descend 3.
There you go.
Same with, well, I guess going out of character is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to say though because I've been doing this for 5 years at this point, and I've PC wise, I've played 3 things. I've played my ghoul, I played my mystic, which you're not allowed to play no more, and they completely removed them from the rule books. They were so overpowered, it was ridiculous.
Ghouls were?
No,
No,
mystics. Mystics are all about magic, but they don't like magic being trapped. So they don't like
eat it,
spell books.
don't they?
They don't like components. They don't like magical weapons. So they just look at things and just eat them.
I
then
remember
they're
this.
gone
My first time
forever.
we needed to get a magical barrier, and we had one mystic with us, and he just walked up to the magical barrier and he ate it.
Is it mine?
Yeah.
We're recording live, yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's good. You're now in it.
You come poke your face in.
Yeah,
You show
see
everybody
right
what you
here.
look like.
I don't know what I look like anymore.
You can find out if you want to pop your head
You
in.
look like Talatria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You want to pop your head in?
We're talking to another
Come
player.
stand behind
We're talking to
me.
another
He's a
player
Reaver, I
off right
believe.
now.
He's
I
a
know my
reaver.
name.
He's an
There you
elf
go.
reaver.
This is an elven
Reavers are
reaver that's
awesome.
about to stand behind us.
This is Talatria. Well,
Yep.
in
Am
game
I
this
in the
is
frame?
You are in the
You're in
frame,
the frame.
actually.
You're
You're great.
in game. This is Talatria.
He looks awesome. He has really cool. He has a couple of swords. He has a shield. He's awesome. He has some baubles, which I'm sure
This-
do cool things as
This
well.
little makeshift sword signifies
Well, unfortunately,
that
the
he's a
nature
reaver.
of being a reaver means that I don't get a lot of stuff that does cool things.
Oh,
Sure.
well, you still
true.
look
All you
really
need is a
cool.
worm. Worms have plenty of stuff that do cool things.
Which
Yeah,
is
it's true.
we used that term earlier.
But
There's going to
being
be a test
reaver
later.
is awesome.
Being a reaver is awesome.
If I wasn't an elder ghoul as my asthma, I would be a reaver.
Right?
But being
But,
an elder ghoul is awesome.
Yeah, but thank you for popping in and just showing us kind of the whole gear because, like I said, Lucas and I just aren't
Yeah,
doing
I'm
it
not-
justice, and she's not in her gear right now because we pulled her out of Monster Camp to be here.
I
And
did.
Ashley, thank you for coming out. Really appreciate it. Ashley
welcome.
Urban, everybody from our secret location that we
Secret
cannot
top
talk
secret
about.
location in the
But thank you. I know
woods.
you probably have to go back to
I know.
NPCing.
It's cool if I don't know, at some point later maybe if I have to come in as my Shadow Steel Guardian, I'll pop in here.
All right, we'll be here for another probably 20 minutes or so
Yeah.
doing this.
It would take me about that much time
Oh.
to get ready.
Well,
Wait a
if
second.
you pop in and we're still doing this, no. But thank you.
You're welcome!
Yeah, so that was neat. That's another expert outside of a brewer helping us out here, really helping us out.
And then the guy I'm dating is even more of an expert.
Yes,
He's been doing this for
the
15
snake
years.
guy. Yes, this guy with the snake face. No, that's a different. No, that was sorry. That's someone else. I apologize. I apologize.
The guy that I'm dating has really long hair, goatee.
Yes.
He's been doing a lot of.
And he's actually running this right now.
Yes, right
Yeah.
now he's running the game, but each month it's somebody different that runs.
Cool.
Each time the plot changes.
Mhm.
This one, like I said, has to deal with the children, which you guys will find out the final bit of
He
it.
will not. He leaves right after this show.
Conrad Lucas will find out. Unfortunately, I got to get out of here.
You're gonna miss the big bad.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I was actually going to be used as like a pivotal thing because they needed my race for something. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be here for that anymore.
Because you got a chess piece.
I do.
Can you
See, it's
bequeath, can he bequeath it onto somebody else?
I was told by James that you can if you really, really want to, but you have to really, really want to give it away.
Yeah.
Can he give it away
you
just
get,
for
like-
plot and get it back when he comes back?
No.
Take it with you.
So I'm going to screw everybody over when I leave with it.
Well, you're not necessarily going to screw everybody over because there's other people that aren't here that have.
And, oh, I can use my natural... No, I can't. This is the same event. I was about to say I can use my natural dominate, but it's a different day
No,
at the
you
same
gotta
event.
go to the
Yeah.
Jackson State, so
All right, well, anyway, thank you,
You're
Ashley
welcome.
Urban. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll come up to the
Well, yeah, that's the... yeah, feel free. You're more welcome to watch
Which
it.
will be back at next weekend,
Yes,
I believe.
at the Phoenix Cafe in
Sunday
Hazel
at a
Park.
regular time. Same. You do it.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
But
We
we're
record
not-
around 1 o'clock-ish on Sundays at the corner of 10 Mile and John R.
1:30
in
usually.
Hazel Park. Phoenix Cafe, hazelpark.com if you want to look it up. The Phoenix Cafe, hazelpark.com.
Yeah. So and I'm excited
Yeah.
because we haven't been at home for a while. Oh
No,
we're
it's been
home.
2 weeks.
I'll be killing
Yeah.
you guys later.
Great,
And
yeah.
it feels
You're
weird.
dodging a bullet.
It feels weird not to be at home because we've been doing so many events. It feels like.
Yeah, we've
So-
been away from the Phoenix for a little bit.
And then we come back to the Phoenix, and then we go, and we're probably gonna do this one more time at camp. I'm going camping with my family.
Which I may or may not be able to at least pop in on because it's somewhat near Port Huron.
Yeah, it's in Port Huron.
Yeah, so
It's 15 minutes away from your work.
I'll see if I can do it. But it's also when our associate producer Corey is getting married.
It's a very busy weekend for
And
all.
I'm standing in his wedding, so
I should see. We'll talk after this.
yes,
show.
we'll talk.
Anyways, so yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, especially in that perspective of it. Like I said, Jomar's the only one of us that has NPC'd.
I'm gonna do it later because I want to get my production pool back, and that's one of the bonuses you get
Yeah.
if you go in NPC and volunteer to do that. You get some of your pools back, certain
Yes.
ones of them. He got his sorcery pool back, his
Yes.
mana pool.
If I were to
essentially.
do it, I would get my weapon mastery pool back.
And I would get my production pool. My production pool allows me to make things.
Yeah, these fuel our special abilities. Jomar's magic, my weapon techniques, Lucas's building stuff.
And your pools refill every moon.
So every
Every
event.
weekend. Yeah, every weekend that we do something, we get new pools.
Yep. Unless you do NPCing, in which case you can get some
what
or
are
all
the
of it
other
back.
ways to refill your pools?
I'm
Maybe we
sure
should
that
ask-
Josh Brewer can tell us.
I'm sure Josh Brewer could tell us. So let's bring Josh
Scott
Brewer
Brewer,
on and ask him the question.
our rack expert at LARPing.
So is there other ways in game that we could refill our pools? Like is like a potion?
Like a portion of
smart aware.
vitality
There
or
are a
something. I
lot
don't
of
know.
very, very advanced ways to do so.
Okay,
There
so
is.
as younger
Specifically
characters.
with magical pools, a lot more than physical pools.
Okay, so
there's like-
Jomar would be okay. Or more okay.
If you were to play for a couple of years, yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's something definitely a little bit more advanced, but that
Can I
does
make a mana
exist.
potion? Like late in game. As an
What?
alchemist.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
But not really means there's probably a way.
There's a lot of stuff in this game.
You're just being vague now. So there's ways that just haven't been invented yet.
Or they have, and they're very secretive.
See, that's a lot of part of this game is you don't know
Everything.
Like, you don't know everything, and that's the mystique. Like you come in as a new player, and they don't want to. I think part of it is they don't want to overwhelm you with all this information. So
It's a lot, too.
You're given a lot of base races. There's a lot of base races.
Yes.
But I guess Josh can explain it. But I'm gonna take a stab at this. He's not one of the base races. No. Introduce yourself.
So I'm Josh. You guys know me from before. But I am playing the character Ajax Whiptail, who just goes by Jax. He is a black lizardman, which is different in color from, say, a regular lizardman, which would be a green one. They have slightly different skills, slightly different abilities. Mine tend to be a little bit more douchebaggy and aggressive than your standard run-of-the-mill. So I play up very much a fighting character. I do have other abilities, but I'm primarily a fighter. Yeah, that's about it. I'm a bit of a tank character. So
I don't know if you can see his face, but actually, and people paint themselves up and they go all out for their characters. I saw a fish lady outside who, I don't know
Yes.
if you know the name of the race.
She's a beta.
it's a aquatic beast man beta fish.
Okay, so she actually has like a painted on face. She did a gorgeous job painting. She actually has gills. She put gills on her neck, and her hair is spray paint dyed in a bunch of different colors as well. It looks really, really cool. Now, this is not a beastman, right? This is just a race, a lizard.
What I am?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Lizardman is not a beastman.
I don't think so. Okay.
You're a fae, though, right? No?
No.
You're
Okay.
nowhere near. Not even close.
Like a brownie is a fae.
kind of.
Kind of?
No, you're the There's a word. There's not Nullifidian, it's Odophidian.
That's a completely different race too.
Oh, okay.
You're just
You're trying.
I don't
He's
know.
trying.
I've heard a lot of words. I'm just going to keep throwing words at
Yeah.
you.
But he's got his face painted up to look slightly like Scales, and it was painted up black underneath. That's kind of faded off a little bit now. But that's
Rain
what he
and sweat.
That's what he looks like the entire time. And like I keep these blue streaks across my nose
You
the
sleep
entire
in that,
time
too.
as a caster.
I did. Yep.
Yep, and you can. I took mine off, but I reapplied it before I actually went
You
into the game.
really don't have a lot of face paint at all.
Me or him?
You.
I don't want to.
He
I didn't
has-
want. I go to work directly after I'm done recording this because that's my life. So I didn't want to have a lot of face paint.
It comes off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it does.
exactly what Brewer said. Brewer was like,
I'll
"Oh,
baby
it
wipe
can
and you're
just
done."
baby wipe it and you're done." Be like, I'd still rather not have that much on my face.
But your character fits you.
Yeah,
I told you you'd enjoy it.
I like it. Yeah, no, and Brewer helped all of us make our characters, and I think that he did a pretty darn good job of it. I was super busy, so I put a lot more trust in Brewer making my character basically than him going through the steps with everyone else. And I have no problem with my character. It's
You thought you were going to. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to like it.
well, that's because Corey had so much body. Corey was so much more beefy than me, and Corey was a knave.
Corey was built to be a defensive tank.
Yeah, which he didn't do.
What
Corey,
are you, then? What would he be?
I'd be offense, right? Yeah.
What am I?
A gypsy.
I'm a
there you go.
gypsy. That's exactly what I am.
Which we're all different.
I like shiny things.
Yeah, which were all different roles, which was pretty cool too.
I spend my time just walking around, looking what's on the ground. I'll pick things up and put them in my unshatterable bag. Just lazily walking around, doing my own thing.
Now, I've been playing a little more conservatively because it's in my nature to hoard items and abilities until I really, really need them.
And when I play video games that way.
Yeah, that's
actually.
play video games. They're the exact
I
same
don't
way.
play it that way.
So I didn't delve really a lot into my. I haven't disarmed anybody. I know I have that ability. I haven't disarmed anybody. I have parried a few times, which I was told I did wrong, and then I was told I did right. It was a little confusing. I have used my critical blow, which means my 10 becomes 12. I add 10 to it. Somebody attacked us in the tavern, and like nobody got up to help me. So it was just me versus this monster, and I was like, I didn't want to stand him the entire time, so I threw some 12s at him, and I killed him by myself, and he walked out, and everybody in the tavern was like, yay!
You should
good
just walk past
job."
any random character, go disarm, and then just go out of game and go to your job. Just so you could use it.
They just have to pick
'Cause you
it
get
up.
all back, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a douchebag thing. It's not my
Would you
character
like
to
to
do.
disarm me?
No, absolutely not. Your character scares me. Anytime your character poses at me like he wants to fight, it's like, nope.
I dare
Sorry.
you to disarm. Who's out? Who should we get him to disarm?
I don't know.
No.
It's not
'Cause
gonna work.
Technically,
That dragon dude.
No, technically that's considered assault.
How?
Because you're attacking another character.
You're
And actually, that's a good
Yeah.
thing to get into. One of the characters, I was talking to Josh in character. So Calix, my guy, was talking to Jax, and I said something. I made a comment or something, and his character is a very beefy character that doesn't take crap. So he just kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Hey, thanks for not killing me for saying that. Ha ha ha! Funny, charismatic." Casterin, which is what I am. And this guy, and I don't know what his character is, I don't really know much about him, but he looked at me and he tapped me with a sword and he said 2 damage, which I took because he hit me and he said 2 damage. If you attack another PC without permission, it's assault. You're not allowed to do that.
You can do it.
You're not supposed
It's against the
to.
law.
Yeah.
It's not against the rules. It's just against the town laws.
Yeah.
It's in the
In-game.
in-game
Yes.
law.
Don't get caught.
Yeah, which he did it directly in front of, obviously me, because he did it. And he did it in front of Jackson and in character. Josh was like, hey, you can't do that. It's against the rules. And
Law.
and he was like, oh, sorry, it's against the law. And he was like apologizing in character, and we're like, yeah, but you still did it. Like, I had magic armor, which is now weaker because you hit me. Like, you can't take it back. There's no takesies backsies in this game, especially when everyone has to police themselves. So he made it good. I think he healed me, and he also cast armor on me, which I was maybe 2 down out of 25, and he had to recast the entire thing, but he made it good.
Yeah, it was cool. I like it. I like the food. Let's get to the food.
Yeah, we've had some pretty
I got-
good eats.
I got a sandwich up there waiting for me. Is that your Coca-Cola cherry?
No.
I think it's mine.
It's not mine. So I'm pretty sure it's
Is it
yours.
mine?
This is mine right here. My
Okay.
Gatorade.
So I have a sandwich.
My
and,
8 of the Gator.
and some fizzy cherry left over. I'm gonna
Yeah.
and then might take a nap.
But last night we had chicken parmesan and we had
We
beans
did?
and rice. Yeah.
Alfredo.
No.
Oh, chicken
Alfredo.
Alfredo. Sorry, chicken Alfredo, which was good.
Red beans and rice.
Yeah.
Which was good too.
I wasn't up for this morning, so I don't know.
It's always a smaller dinner on Friday
Yeah.
nights.
This morning
Tonight's gonna be big.
ham, hash browns, omelets to order,
Oh, it was so good. Waffles.
waffles, and biscuits and gravy.
I did not wake up in time for. Oh God, that sounds amazing. I did not.
It was good.
I did not wake up in time for
It
this
was really
because
good.
I was sleeping right above Lucas in the bunk, and he was snoring.
I
Oh my
snore
gosh.
loud.
And
if,
so-
if you've heard
No.
any of our shows, I snore like a train. I'm
So
sorry,
as soon
guys.
as Lucas left, like that's when I dropped off consciousness. Like I was just out, and I woke up relatively early. But everybody's also been up in the game because this game still happens at night. People can be up the entire time, so stuff happens early in the morning. And if you're not up for it, you're not up for it. Next time I come, I'll be a little more prepared. I'll sleep a little farther away from Lucas, and I'll be able to get up and be
Put Lucas in a corner.
be
the rest
bright
of us on the other side
and
of the
bright and
cabin.
early. Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
yeah. And we'll also be at winter camp. Right now we're at summer camp. There's a winter camp, which is in a different location where
We
different
could do
stuff
this in
happens.
November, I think. If it doesn't cross over, we have some stuff we have to do in November.
If not,
Yeah.
maybe January for Feast.
Oh, we're coming for Feast.
Feast.
That's worth $50.
That sounds awesome. That's how much it costs to play.
Yeah, so it's $50 to play. We can't tell you where, but some are
Come
less.
to us personally.
Some are less, some are
maybe.
more.
If you're
Let us know.
interested in knowing more, come to us personally.
Yeah, there you go. We'll let you know. We've been asked to not advertise where we're at, and we totally respect that because we respect the people here.
And if you really want, you can always check us out at therackshow.com. You can message us there. and
Obviously.
We'll point you to the right person to talk to.
This guy.
Yep.
That guy.
That guy.
Because he wants stuff. Actually, if you talk to Conrad, he gets stuff points. So don't let that guy take it all. You
Yeah,
get
that's
stuff
absolutely
points.
true. If you bring new people, you get bonuses. And which Josh, can you explain those to us real fast? Because you brought 3 new players and Lucas.
No, 4.
4.
You count as
I
a
brought
new
my
player?
brother-in-law.
Oh yeah. I forgot Josiah. Okay.
So the game is a lot of an investment as you play, and one of those bonuses when you bring a new person is more of those stuff points to do things like cash out, like we were talking about earlier, and other things like that. It helps you build your character a little bit. So whether it's donation or whether it is bringing new people or helping out with the game, everyone tries to chip in their bit so that they can get their build.
Okay.
So that's really all there is to it. It's not a very complicated system.
I
You-
need cool points or whatever they're called.
Cool points.
cool points.
I need those too.
Lucas, you will never
Oh,
get cool points.
I need stuff points. I have 28 blankets, which are. How to explain a blanket real quick? Not that it's
There's a
important,
couple
but-
different ways to get build. A cash out is one. A blanket is another. A blanket is a monthly covering of your character to get a little bit more build each and every month that passes, even if you're not playing.
And I have 28 months that between the last month I played and this month I played.
At 30 stuff points per blanket is like 850 stuff points that they needed, and I just flicked Lucas off when he said he wanted 850 because that's a crap ton.
It's like $84 worth of. But I think I'm gonna do it. Actually, next time I come, because
You can't next time.
yeah, they said I can. That role has been gone. I can do as many times as I want.
Oh, that's awesome then.
So I'm gonna do it next time because that's what I was hung up on. I was like, I don't want to lose over 100 experience points, which is a lot.
Oh,
It's 2 years.
You'd
worth.
be giant by the time.
I will
actually
walk
come
in
in.
as a gypsy that knows how to do shit. I'm like, yeah, you want a sword? Do you
Got
want
a
a sword
sword.
with 5 blades on it? I could do that.
No.
I don't think it's a sword anymore.
This is a sword shield. I invented this shit.
That's not
No.
a thing.
This is a helicopter blade.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna make all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm gonna
That sounds like something you find in
whole new
Naruto.
thing here.
Oh,
Stop.
technically this is assault, but
Salt.
they're not in character.
Salt.
We're not in
Assault.
character.
I am in character.
Oh, okay.
No,
They
you're
are
not.
not. Yes, I am. I am
You
in
don't
game.
can't see us.
It's just
then.
frowned.
I'm in game.
It's just frowned upon. And actually, I'm glad you picked this up because I want you guys to see this. This is really cool. There are some stickers on here, and the higher level characters have some cool items, and this dictates what these items do. And he has this one. He has this bad boy with a.
I helped you build
thing
this.
on this. Yes, actually, Lucas is actually helping cool stuff
Right?
go
You
into
helped
that
me
maze.
put a thing in it, so it does a lot
Yeah,
more.
he has a pouch that has a rune on it, and a lot of the times when you ask people stuff, because you're curious and they ask you, sometimes they don't tell you what it is. They say find out in game, or
Foig.
Foig. So you're like, okay, what's that thing? They're like, find out in game. Be like, okay, fine, I'll go find out in the game. And it's not them being a douche. It's just like that's how you learn. You know, you ask questions, then sometimes you just go do. So he has a pouch that we're not allowed. That out of game, we didn't know. Somebody outed it to us, but we found out that only he can open that pouch.
So wait,
and if we do, I think we get damage, right?
No, you're just physically unable.
Oh, physically unable to do it.
So you were just grounded. What do you call it? You don't dust, but you do what? Killed. You were killed.
I was killed.
And were they trying to loot your body?
No.
I heard I heard them looting your body.
Not really. I don't want to go into a bunch of detail about that because it's just random crap that doesn't really matter. But
they killed you.
It was a test.
It
was a test for two of us. The person I was fighting is way bigger than me.
But he wears a diaper.
He's technically a baby, as the way he plays his character, but he's freaking huge. So
he's an ogre.
And right? Ogres are really tough. Like, I can take, with armor and body and all that, 400 or so dagger blows of damage, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen this guy throwing out 14s just to throw.
I think the other guy can take somewhere in the area of 1,500.
Oh my gosh.
1,500?
Right. So there was just no competition. I mean, I was hitting him with 130s, and he was just laughing at me. Essentially.
130s, 1,500.
He walks around, he doesn't say much. He's like, bleh, bleh. He's just one word. He doesn't even say words,
no,
he just sounds.
Doesn't.
But he wants brew.
He usually wants to get drunk.
Yeah. And then we were I'm a brewer. I'm trying to learn a recipe because I wanted to brew something for him. Because he's actually one of my favorite characters. Because he plays it very well and he's very sweet. But he's just like this huge...
baby. With a giant club.
And a diaper. And that's where he keeps all his stuff is in his diaper. It's just funny stuff.
It's entertaining.
It's very clever.
And it's very clever. And I like how a lot of these people play their characters so well. It sort of...
Well, Ashley
makes the experience better.
Ashley last night when she was playing her the Black Sentinel statue.
Guardian.
Help me out. Sentinel Guardian, whatever.
Guardian.
She had like a Jamaican accent to it, so she'd be talking to people like this, man. You know, you stop and you go do things. And
it wasn't Jamaican. It was Jamaican.
It was
off-colored Russian.
No, it wasn't. It was Jamaican.
It was like an orc would speak.
Yeah. No, it was how a troll would speak in World of Warcraft. Which is Jamaican. Really? Yeah, man. Yes. Trust me, I listened to her. I was up at the front. You were in the back carrying the stuff.
Okay. I was in the back carrying the stuff. That's what I did.
That's, and my
fun.
character gave him crap for it. But my character gives Domar's character crap for not being directly in the fight. That's just because my character likes to fight. You know,
my character doesn't like to fight.
No, he sure doesn't. Which is fine. Then you can play the game however you want to play the game. As long as you're not a complete twat waffle about it, it's fine. Yeah. Even in game,
so we just used the word twat waffle.
I did, sure. Well, I didn't say the F word. I said twat waffle.
I don't know if I like that one though.
What?
Okay. Anyways.
Right.
Anyways, favorite character you've played, and that's our last question. I think. What do you think? You have a last question for Josh?
Okay, so I've had a bunch of different characters over the 5 years, 6 years, somewhere in that area. I've played this game. This one, Jax, is my favorite.
Really?
He's very, very dark, very deceitful, very intimidating as a character. And I just really get into him a lot. He's completely not concerned with magic or money. He's all about the fight and all about killing the next thing. And it's just
you're
a great
pretty serious fighter. You're really good at it.
Yeah.
You've been.
He has a whole
for
technique, which if you were at Geek Fan Expo, you learned. You saw him do this.
Yep.
And if you see the pictures on our rack page, you see me with the shield. Those shields are great.
They really are.
I'm thinking about just carrying a shield around since I don't fight.
You should.
This thing is awesome. This is my shield. This is the one I've been using.
I just didn't want to keep... I might take his shield.
It is as big as he is, so you try to hit behind this, and it's annoying.
Especially when someone knows what they're doing. I'm learning. I mean, Josh, you've been watching me. How have I been doing?
You've been doing good. You've actually been doing really good. You've been catching on.
Yeah.
Really quick.
And like, you know, I came into it and I've been learning techniques. Hey!
What's up? Did I miss it?
We're actually in the process of about to end it right now. Our
Did you want to do 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure, we'll pop her in. Do you mind?
Josh, we'll do 5 minutes.
I'll sacrifice my minutes so that she can get in here and talk. No problem.
Okay,
5 minutes.
Which is really cool because we've gotten a couple of experts on LARPing, but a new newbie aspect. And we're like newbies that don't really know that much. This is a newbie that's been
Speak
doing
for
it for about
yourself.
6 or 7 in character
I got
moons,
28 blankets
out of
coming to
character
me.
months,
yeah, months.
right? Yeah. So this is Jenny. I don't know your last name.
O'Neill.
Jenny O'Neill.
You gotta be kidding me. Do you have a sister named April? Because that'd be really awesome. You get that a lot?
Do you get that a lot?
No, I get the Forrest Gump references a lot.
Oh.
The what?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Okay, we were talking to Ashley Urban earlier, and she has been NPCing all weekend, and I think you've been doing the same thing. Yeah, you're not playing actual characters.
No, yeah, we're NPCing, which is non-player characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to NPC this weekend over play a character?
So the whole plot line from last month and this month was a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that we played, adapted for this event. And yeah, it was just like it was a really cool campaign. We thought it was awesome, so we brought it here and.
So the children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, which we talked a little bit about.
So you were part of last month's event.
Yep, I NPC'd that event also.
Very cool. Now, the other thing I have to point out, because we've had all about our age characters on. Josh, people that have been, but I want to point out that the craftsmen that I hang out with, they're far older than me.
the span of
they have
age.
to
Like,
be
how old
in
are you?
the 50s, right?
22.
Okay, she's 22, so that's real. I mean, around
there's
Jomar's age.
The youngest person can be what? Legally here.
13?
13?
13.
But they have to come in as a page.
No, at 13 they can fight.
No, they can't literally. So before that, they have to be a page, which is a non-combatant character. Yeah.
I want to bring Amanda.
She could,
I'm sorry.
She could fight for real.
See, there's another thing we have to do. I want to bring Mandolin.
Yes, Mandolin would love this.
Mandolin?
Yeah, we have a Mandolin. That's actually her name. She's she's not an
She's an
instrument, but she gets
actress
the
that I
joke all
work
the time.
with.
Yeah. No, we got to bring Mandolin. We got to bring Jess. I want to see Aaron and Tracy out here. We probably never would, but
My
I
sister,
would love to see
when
them out there.
she's like, "Can I just watch?" I'm like, "No, you can come."
Feast.
Feast. You know who else? My Josh Peterson. Josh Peterson would love this. A lot of my friends, and I feel like there's a view of LARPing that I think everybody kind of understands.
There's a stigma.
Yeah, until
a
you
stigma.
do it, like you can just tell yourself that you'll never do this ever.
I'll tell you what. The stigma is completely right if you're an outsider. If you're an insider, you understand.
Until
it's
you do it,
completely
yeah.
different. It does look goofy from the outside. It doesn't look goofy from the inside.
Yeah.
It does.
It can,
Accepted.
Yeah, it's like D&D. It still looks goofy from the outside.
but it's so fun that you don't care.
You don't care.
Doesn't matter.
True.
Like
Don't
I have
care.
fought you all day today.
Yeah.
All day today.
Yeah.
Like she would come after me.
I have not fought you all day. I have just let you hit me.
Ran like a little chicken.
No, I don't even run.
Actually, no, that's Jomar. That's Jomar.
Run. I actually could not even throw anything at her.
I don't run. I just let you hit me.
No.
I have enough body and build just to like whatever.
Now I've been fighting you, and I got Josh's opinion. Your opinion. How am I as a fighter? Am I okay?
He's
For a
horrible.
first timer, absolutely.
Oh, for a first
What?
timer.
It's true. I'm a
I
first
mean,
timer.
I think I have a biased point of view because I'm a girl and you probably weren't trying your hardest.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
he
a
was.
lie. I really
He
was.
Oh,
That's
okay.
he really
well,
was.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Nope. You're like, well, in that case, then you're okay. You're not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Another
I'm
stigma
not.
that's totally shattered. Girls come here.
Yeah,
There are a bunch.
Girls come here.
Yeah.
They do come here.
Dudes come here, and they're just not like your nerdy dudes. You have dudes coming here from all kinds of walks of life. all kinds of walks
There's
of
a
life.
difference between, like nerdy and geeky, I feel like.
We
Like,
know that.
No, we know
nerdy-
that.
He's a
nerdy is
geek.
a good thing.
I'm nerdy. He's geeky.
Yeah.
Oh,
By our definitions, which everybody defines them
all right,
differently. So
totally,
it sounds like your definitions are a little different, which is fine. We respect.
But I mean, nowadays, like nerdy isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No,
you know
not
what I
at
mean?
all.
Geeky
Like,
isn't either,
it's
is it?
coming
We're taking over the
back
world.
into popularity.
Absolutely.
Wait, her definitions are different than
No,
ours.
I'm thinking that she thinks geek is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I use
What's a geek? We
nerd
gotta
as,
ask.
Like,
Yeah.
nerd to me is like someone who's like passionate about something
That's a geek.
No,
not
let her finish.
traditional necessarily, like Dungeons and Dragons and dressing up in medieval costumes, etc., etc. I feel like geeky are those people who are just sort of like I can't explain it. I just have to point it out when I see it, I guess.
Show it to her, Conrad.
Honestly,
Whatever-
it
what
sounds
is it?
like your definition of geek is my definition of dork. And it sounds like your definition
All right,
of
all
nerd
right, all right.
is
So
my
explain
definition
explain
of geek.
and nerds to her.
And my definition of nerd, which I think Lucas agrees with, is that nerds and geeks can have the exact same opinions, approaches to things, interests, but it's the way they perceive it. I think that geeks are a little more not fanboy, but they're super excitable about what they go into. So you're right. Geeked out, exactly. Whereas nerds, maybe they come at a little more academic approach.
Which is
not insulting to geeks and not saying that they're less intelligent. It's just the way they approach things. And Lucas is definitely more of the academic when he comes to things, and I'm more of the fanboy.
And the best way we can explain this is, if we take a small sect of nerd/geekdom, which is food. A foodie is a geek person that's really excited about food.
Jomar is a foodie.
He's a foodie. He's really geeky. I am, on the other hand, is really nerdy about food. He knows that mayonnaise tastes great. I know that mayonnaise is made out of egg and vinegar and
a lot of oil.
And oil, and the only reason why they work together is because an egg is an emulsifier and it brings it all together, and that's why it doesn't separate.
There you go.
It's because of negative charged ion.
Which is just as an example.
Which is why I'm nerdy.
This is not to say that Jomar doesn't know the stuff. That was just because he's giving us a look right here.
He probably does know this.
Yeah.
Jomar knows actually quite a bit about food.
Yes.
We're just using that as an example.
Yeah.
So you would see yourself more as a nerd in your eyes. In my eyes, you're more of a geek, it sounds like, which is not saying either of us are wrong. It's just something we like to do. We like to put people on the spot like that. How did you get started with this? You said you came with a coworker a long time ago? Or?
Yeah, I came here for the first time with a coworker.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what to expect, I guess. But I had been going to like the Renaissance fair since I was like a little kid, so I had like a good costume. So I just was like, all right, I'll dress up and I'll go. And came here and got to fight people with weapons and just beat the crap out of everybody, and it was awesome.
And you're pretty darn good at it.
Yes.
She really is.
So, okay, I have a question now. Pre-LARP, what was your nerddom? Your geekdom, if you will? What are you into?
I had a science major in college.
Oh, she's a nerd.
By your eyes.
But like... Also like board games.
Yes!
We love board games.
We're a board game group.
Oh yeah.
As a joke, we
go
brought
to
Pathfinder.
Gen Con?
Yeah, so you've been here for 6-7 moons, aka 6-7 months, and you're having fun with it. I came for my very first time. I'm enjoying it. Jomar is having a blast with it. Obviously, it's a main priority in Brewer's life. Lucas came back after a little bit of a hiatus. It sounds like we might be coming back again. Don't know if we'll do anything with the show with that or just to come back for fun.
If we do, it'll be a note in one of our shows.
Yeah, I'll mention it.
We can we can literally fit this in and then do our show on Sunday at a normal time.
Yep.
We'll just be exhausted.
Yeah, which
we do this show exhausted.
State of being.
I almost fell asleep today on the show.
Caffeine, people. It was
We live off the... I just drank a Monster. I had to put down my Monster when I was fighting you to pick it back up and drink it, and then put it back down to fight you and then pick it back up to drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Just saying.
Wimpy.
It's not wimpy. I'm just saying that's what I did.
Put down his monster.
I couldn't fight I couldn't fight with Monster in my hand because I would spill it.
On that note, Connor's going to take us out.
10 copper. I'm not
My
gonna
name
do
is
that.
Lucas.
My name is Conrad. Thank you very much, Jenny and Ashley, who is not here, and Brewer, of course. Jomar and Corey, whose experiences couldn't be documented because he had to leave for his other job. For Lucas, I'm Conrad. Thank you very much for listening to episode 23, season 2 of The Rack Show, which you can find on therackshow.com. We just took geek culture off the shelf and showed it to you.
We gotta plug one more thing, the Phoenix Cafe. You can find out the Phoenix Cafe at thephoenixcafehazelpark.com.
Our home
when we're not away.
Pretty much. That was almost good.
I know,
We almost had that. We're getting really better at that.
We're merging, and I don't know if I like it. We're becoming one.
I do this with you have your Josh, my Josh. I do it with them all the time.
I can't do this. I don't want to become.
Sorry, dude. Good night, everybody.
Peace, guys.
You have the Luigi death stare at anybody?
I didn't, but I could have.
Sound engineer for Steam Power Giraffe. Where am I looking? Where's the camera? There you go, right there. Right there you go.
The winner would be crowned the king of Youmacon.
Okay.
I won. True, I cheated, but I won.